The first thing I noticed wasn't her dress. It was the way his hand rested on her lower back, lightly, possessively, as they entered the ballroom together. My wife. And her boss. I froze, the glass of champagne trembling in my hand. The lights from the chandelier caught the sequins on her silver gown, scattering reflections across her bare shoulders. She looked radiant, untouchable, like someone who didn't belong to me anymore. And the man beside her, Robert Hale, her CO, walked as though he owned everything in sight, including the woman on his arm. 2 weeks earlier, Emma had mentioned the gala. "It's just a corporate event," she'd said casually, tugging on her coat before work. "Robert wants all department heads there. It's formal networking, you know how it is." I had nodded, trusting her as I always did. "Do you want me to come?" asked. She'd smiled faintly. "It's work, Daniel. It'd be boring for you." That smile stayed with me. Not because it was reassuring, but because it wasn't. Now, standing in the corner of that glittering ballroom, surrounded by laughter and violins, I realized I shouldn't have stayed home. I'd come uninvited after a colleague, who also worked at her firm, let slip that plus ones were encouraged. My chest had gone cold. That night, while Emma was still at the office, I found the email invitation in our shared inbox. And there it was, her RSVP. Yes, attending. Bringing guest, Robert Hale. Yes, her guest. The night smelled of expensive perfume and betrayal. I watched as Robert whispered something to her. She laughed, that light, genuine laugh that used to be ours. He leaned in close, far too close. Every muscle in my body tensed. I wanted to walk over to call her name, to tear that smug look off his face. But instead I stayed still. I needed to see. I needed proof of what my gut already screamed. Emma was good at hiding things. For months she'd been working late, coming home with the faint scent of his cologne. I had ignored it because that's what love does. It blinds you, softens the edges of truth until they don't cut so deep. Not anymore. They drifted toward the bar, and I followed at a distance. Her hand brushed his arm as she ordered a drink. His fingers lingered at her waist when she turned. The intimacy between them was unspoken, practiced. "Emma," I said finally, stepping forward. She froze mid-laugh. The color drained from her face. "Daniel." Robert turned, his smirk never faltering. "Ah, the husband. I've heard a lot about you." "Have you?" I replied, my voice low, almost calm. Emma's eyes darted between us. "Daniel, what are you doing here?" "I thought I'd come see this boring work event you mentioned," I said. My words hung in the air, heavy and sharp. Her lips parted, but no words came out. Robert just chuckled softly, swirling his drink. "You should have told him, Emma. Transparency is important in marriage, isn't it?" The bastard was enjoying this. For a moment, silence pulsed between the three of us. The ballroom around us blurred into meaningless sound and color. Then Emma grabbed my arm. "Daniel, please. Can we talk somewhere private?" I nodded, jaw clenched. She led me out to the balcony, where the city lights burned like fire beneath the night sky. I turned to her. "So, you brought your boss as your date. Should I be flattered or humiliated?" Her eyes glistened. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is, Emma. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you replaced me with him." She took a shaky breath. "He asked me to come with him as his date because it looked better for the company. I didn't want to say no. He's Daniel, he's powerful. If I refuse, I risk everything I've worked for." I laughed bitterly. "So you'd rather risk your marriage instead?" Her eyes welled up, but she didn't answer. And that silence, was the real confession. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "How long?" Her tears spilled then, streaking the perfect makeup she'd worn for another man. "It wasn't supposed to happen." I tried to stop it. "How long?" I repeated. She covered her mouth, whispering, "A few months." The words gutted me. Every memory, every shared morning, every dinner, every "I love you," collapsed inside my chest like ash. I turned away, gripping the balcony rail until my knuckles turned white. Behind me, her voice trembled. He made me feel seen, Daniel. You were so distant lately, so focused on your work. I didn't plan this. Don't, I cut in sharply, turning to face her. Don't blame me for you crossing that line. She flinched. A waiter slid the balcony door open, carrying a tray of champagne flutes. For a strange moment, everything felt painfully normal again. The clink of glass, the murmur of conversation inside. Then I saw Robert through the glass, talking to other executives, laughing like he hadn't just dismantled a marriage. I exhaled slowly, something dark and deliberate forming in my chest. You said he's powerful, right? I said quietly. Then let's see how powerful he really is when he's exposed. Emma's eyes widened. Daniel, don't please. You'll ruin my career. I gave a faint, broken smile. You ruined us. That's worse. But I didn't cause a scene. Not yet. Instead, I walked back inside, heart hammering, every step measured. Robert looked up as I approached, amusement flickering in his eyes. Everything all right, Mr. Reeves? He said smoothly. Perfect, I replied, setting my glass down on the bar. Actually, I just wanted to thank you. He raised an eyebrow. Thank me? Yes, I said, voice steady. For showing me exactly what kind of man my wife works for. Conversations nearby went quiet. Heads turned. Robert's smile faltered for the first time. I'd watch your tone. Oh, don't worry, I said. Everyone here should watch yours. Because if they knew how you treat your employees, how you take advantage of them, they might not toast you so easily. A ripple of whispers spread through the crowd. Emma stood frozen near the doorway, pale, trembling. Robert leaned closer, his jaw tight. You don't want to do this. I smiled grimly. I already have. Then I walked away, out of the ballroom, out of the hotel, out of the wreckage of what used to be my marriage. That night I sat in my car for a long time, staring at the steering wheel, my reflection faint in the windshield. The city lights blurred through my tears. I wasn't angry anymore, just hollow. Love doesn't vanish in a night, no matter how deep the wound. I still loved her, and that hurt worst of all. Because love without trust is torture. When I finally started the engine, I didn't know where I was going, only that I couldn't go home. Not yet. 2 weeks later, the news broke. Robert Hale, CEO of Crestline Dynamics, resigned after an internal investigation into unprofessional conduct. Emma didn't reach out. Neither did I. I heard she left the company soon after. Sometimes late at night, I still see her in my mind, standing on that balcony, her eyes full of regret. And I wonder if she ever loved me, or just the comfort I provided until something shinier came along. But then I remember the way she said a few months, like it was small enough to forgive. And I know the truth. Some betrayals don't break you in one clean snap. They corrode you slowly, until one day, you wake up and realize the person you trusted most has become a stranger. That's what Emma became to me. A stranger wearing my wife's face. And as for me, I made my move that night not to destroy her, but to finally reclaim what she'd taken from me, my dignity. Because sometimes walking away isn't weakness. It's the only power you have left.